Oke, hi everyone. Hihi. Kenalin, nama aku Salma from ISMA Liverpool. I'm here with two of my friends.
I am Priska from ISMA UQ.
Aku Nina dari ISMA UQ juga.
We're gonna answer questions what we did during ISMA. Pertanyaan pertama adalah what were some of the most memorable activities you participated in during ISMA program? Dari Priska.
Okay, so personally for me is when I helped the professor do his research project about egg shelf life testing, and that was one of the most memorable things karena I had to travel to another city for that, and it was lumayan struggle. But because of that, I gained a lot of experiences in food technology, and that was really important to my major juga. So yeah, that was one of my most memorable experience for ISMA.
Okay. Nina. Bluey convention.
No, it wasn't a convention. So I went to UQ Brisbane because I chose that place because the show Bluey is set in Brisbane, and while I was there, it was Bluey's 5th anniversary. So they had this event going on where they went all over Australia and they had like ice cream trucks giving out ice cream for free. So I went to 2 locations. The first one was Gold Coast, and then the second location was in South Bank. Yang di Gold Coast sepi, jadi kita tuh kayak ngantri nggak nyampe 30 menit udah dapat es krimnya lah. Tapi yang di South Bank 3,5 jam ngantri baru dapat es krimnya. Jadi itu tuh kayak cuma buat reskin cornetto gitu, pakai sleeve beda dan ada stiker Bluey-nya. But like definitely one of the best experiences because I got to be in the Bluey spirit, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a question. Do you think the same event will be held every single year atau kayak nggak selalu ada?
I don't think so. Probably like every 5 years, karena 5 is a significant number. But then like after that, like 6, 7, 8, 9 is not gonna be as significant as like 10. So maybe in another 5 years they're gonna do that, but not for the next few years. But they are. Pas aku udah pulang in 2024, mau jadi ini apa kayak Bluey Playland gitu, indoor experience, dan itu baru bikinnya pas aku udah pulang, jadi aku bete.
Oke, sekian, terima kasih. Kalau dari aku sendiri, jujur not many things that I do. Paling I reached out to some of my lecturers, not my lecturers, but like lecturers in my uni tentang riset aku juga sih, kayak mirip-mirip lah. Cuman you actually deep dive go into the research kan. Kalau aku cuma nanya-nanya gitu loh.
Aku help sih.
Nah, she help. Kalau aku cuma nanya-nanya, jadi kayak lebih ke minta insight lah gitu, which help me in lebih ke lomba sih, karena my TA nggak berhubungan sama sekali. Sangat tidak penting, tapi ya sudahlah. Oke, next.
So unserious compared.
No, it's fine. It's memorable kan, menjawab dengan baik dan benar.
This is such a good question. How did your daily routine change while studying abroad compared to your life in Indonesia?
Ninda dulu kali ya, yang paling wow.
Mungkin sebagai perbandingan ya, aku tuh kalau di rumah satu kamar sama adek, terus rumah aku rame, multi-generational household. Jadi I have my grandparents, I have my aunts and uncles, and my mom, and then there's my mom's kids. Kita kayak bertiga, jadi kayak in total maybe like 8 orang plus itu belum ditambah kayak pembantu yang ada di rumah. Jadi kayak everything di rumah tuh kayak dibantuin, kamar diberesin, baju dicuciin, makanan dimasakin. Jadi bahkan mau pergi itu tuh nggak boleh transportation umum atau naik gojek atau naik gokar. Jadi kayak purely harus minta tolong supir di rumah gitu, atau kayak disupirin sama mama. But during ISMA I don't have access to that, right? Jadi aku tuh kayak daily routine harus bangun sendiri. Kadang-kadang aku dibangunin di rumah. Kayak aku harus bangun sendiri, aku harus masak makanan aku sendiri. Terus kayak every once in a week or like every 2 weeks, aku masih males. Cuma kayak I always remember I have to wash my own clothes. I have to. Ini hal yang paling jarang aku ngelakuin. Aku tuh ternyata nggak bisa nyapu loh. Oke, karena aku pas di sana aku nyapu nih, udah nyapu. Menurut aku udah bersih. And then my roommate came out, terus dia kayak nyapu lagi, soalnya kurang bersih sih ya. But yeah, I have to do everything myself. Terus kalau mau berangkat, it's more peaceful sih, cause I have less people to mind. Karena kan di rumah rame. Di sana paling kadang-kadang aku udah bangun, my roommate belum bangun, atau aku baru bangun, my roommate sudah berangkat karena ada yang aku kelas siang, mereka kelas dari pagi gitu. Jadi kayak I do everything myself and it's a lot more peaceful. I get to do everything at my own pace and it's a lot better for me sih. Karena pas pulang kayak kembali lagi ke hiruk pikuk, semuanya dikerjain sama orang lain gitu. Jadi kayak pusing lagi.
Oke, mungkin aku jawab duluan ya, Pris. Kalau dari aku sendiri sebenarnya nggak banyak, tapi since UK, apalagi pas akhir-akhir winter gitu kan, itu the night starts early, jadi kayak jam 4 itu udah sundown. I'm more productive during the night, jadi lebih produktif waktu di sana, tapi tetap bangunnya tetap telat sih. Jadi kayak, aku anak kosan di Surabaya, jadi kayak there's nothing different for my daily routine selain yang lebih produktif aja, karena aku lebih produktif pas malam gitu guys. Oke, Pris.
Okay, for me juga sebenarnya nggak beda jauh because I take public transport to campus in Indonesia. But like probably yang beda itu I cannot cook right before I left and I had to learn because we cannot spend. Jadi kayak I had to like learn to cook. Itu doang sih yang beda sih, like learn to cook.
Priska spends a lot on expensive gitu.
I did.
Expensive cuma kayak apa yang aku beli sama apa yang Priska beli tuh kayak jauh banget. Kayak aku pasta cuma butter, pasta and like the occasional pesto. Priska always has to buy this like sauce and she buys like so many things. Jadi that's where the spending disparity comes from. Kayak I cook a lot of simple food, kalau Priska masak tuh selalu kayak wow.
I cannot cook and I use ham. I use ham, sis.
And she says she cannot cook.
I cannot cook.
What a
I really
lie.
cannot. That's it.
Okay, next question apa tadi? What cultural experiences did you find most surprising or enlightening during your stay?
This is such an easy question.
Kalau UK, jujur, I feel like orang-orangnya tuh sangat friendly. Jadi kayak kalau salah papasan kita belum nabrak aja udah bilang kayak sorry gitu, excuse me, sorry gitu. Jadi kayak paling cultural shock yang paling positif itu sih gitu. Sama apa ya? Kalau kita I feel like dari Jakarta it's di mana-mana tuh walkable. Iya, jujur. Terus it's walkable, transportationnya kayak setiap 10-15 menit pasti ada aja yang lewat the same bus gitu kan. Compared to di Jakarta kayaknya bisnya juga selalu full gitu loh kalau TJ. Nah kalau di UK atau mungkin Aussie juga sama kayak agak jarang-jarang gitu. You get seats gitu. You always get seats. Oke. Dari Pris mungkin tambahan.
Mungkin kalau cultural experience which I find most surprising is kita memanggil dosen menggunakan nama pertama. Jadi you call them with their first names. They do not want to be called Mr. or Miss or Ma'am or Sir. They would prefer to be called by their first name. And kadang itu mereka bahkan minta nama singkatan. Jadi kayak, for example, our Professor Stewart Havill. This is Professor Stewart. We call him Stu, and it was quite hard to get used to for a while. But we get used to calling him Stu, and he's a very friendly lecturer. So shout out to Stu.
Okay, next Ninda.
Kalau culture shock, I guess cars stop before you cross. Jadi like lu mau nyebrang, lu baru berdiri nih, mobil udah berhenti duluan.
Bener.
Terus kayak, hah? Udah, terus the guy would be like go, terus kayak oh iya, oke, makasih gitu.
Malahan.
Jadi kayak wow gitu. And like maybe something enlightening itu kalau di sana kan kita encourage to speak our mind ya. Kalau misalnya kita di kelas tuh kayak kita very much encourage untuk kayak berbicara, untuk kayak lebih aktif, tapi kayak really pick our brains gitu. Kayak kita tanya, kadang-kadang ditanyain balik, ditanyain follow up questions gitu kan. Mungkin kayak kalau di sana tuh lebih berani gitu. Kayak lebih like whatever you have in your mind langsung diomongin aja, and you're not gonna get in trouble for it. Beda sama di sini. Sini kayak you wanna say something harus di adjust seberapa levelnya biar di orang lainnya enak. Tapi kalau di sana mah lu mau ngomong aja gitu.
True. Adding to that, jujur masa dosen aku kayak pernah add curse words waktu sambil ngajar. Jadi kayak misalnya jadi dia role play jadi misalnya kayak atasan gitu kan, because I learn business ethics gitu kan. Jadi role play jadi atasan terus kayak ngomong curse words waktu ngajar tuh kayak it's normal banget gitu. And then like salah satu anak Zeget Pesh ya, jadi dari Kak Oki, namanya Kak Oki. Kak Oki tuh pernah ceritain ke gue, dia tuh anak kedokteran. Jadi kalau di kedokteran kan it's all facts kan, and then like you write everything whatever the dosen say, yang bakal itu bakal keluar di ujiannya gitu kan. Sedangkan waktu dia di sana dia kan nggak belajar matkul kedokteran. Terus habis itu dia nulis nih apa yang kata kata lecturernya kayak yang diajarin lecturernya, terus kayak whatever discussions there are ditulis gitu kan, yang benar yang apa, yang benar yang salah apa. Tapi ternyata kayak waktu diomongin discussion gitu, all the answers dari mahasiswanya tuh kayak yeah that's right, that's also right. Jadi kayak dia nggak tahu kayak ini benar atau enggak sih gitu. Terus apa yang bakal keluar di examnya gitu kan. Tapi ternyata exam pun ini nggak sih kayak essay based. Jadi kayak and it's like you just put your mind out banget gak sih? Ya like ada guidelines-nya, but like there's no, nggak ada batasan kreativitas gitu-gitu. Terus kayak you're only you have to choose like misalnya one theory and then like speak your mind out gitu sih. Okay, what's next?
Can you share a challenging situation you faced and how you overcame it? A lot, I guess. Challenging situation. Probably money management. Probably money management is really hard because we're on a budget, right? And we're not allowed to work either. So you have to really like tighten your budget, and it's kind of hard because things are actually quite expensive abroad. Whether you like it or not, everything's expensive. And sometimes you just have to spend. Or if you need like misalnya kayak medical things, kayak emergency itu tuh kadang nggak semua asuransi itu langsung ngasih gratis. Jadi you'll need some emergency funds juga. So yeah, that's pretty hard to that's a challenging part juga sih. Money management is challenging part. Oke, yang lain?
Oke.
Ini karena masih Australia,
I have a challenging situation. Aku hilang naik bus total 2 kali. Jadi yang pertama itu aku tahu busnya tuh the driver was new, dan pas busnya jalan aku sadar kalau rutenya tuh salah. Tapi instead of like getting off when I knew the route was off, I just stayed karena aku mau nunggu muter busnya. But it wasn't a busway yang kayak stops every 5 minutes. Yang stopnya jauh-jauh gitu. Like can be like 20 minutes per stop. It's like the bus kecil goes around the neighborhood that stops like every 10 minutes gitu. Jadi kayak pas di tengah jalan I got bored waiting. Jadi aku turun. And di situ dekat ke busway kan. Aku naik busway-nya balik lagi ke kampus. Terus aku bilang ke teman-teman aku, "Hey, kita pulang bareng aja ya." Dan after that aku nggak boleh pulang sendiri for like 2 months.
I can vouch. I was waiting for her every single night.
And then after that I got lost again. Tapi nggak separah yang tadi. Like no one knew. I was going home alone from the city, from CBD. Terus di Australia kan bus tuh gak stop every stop. Kamu tuh harus mencet belnya to signify, oh aku mau turun di sini gitu. Aku mau turun at the next stop gitu. Nah, aku lupa mencet. Jadi kebablas sampai stasiun terakhir. I was supposed to get off at the second to last station. Tapi abis itu karena aku mau buru-buru balik lagi kampus, aku naik busnya balik ke kampus lagi, balik arah. Jadi aku gak jadi pulang. Aku pulangnya malam abis kegiatan di kampus udah selesai. Yeay.
ribet ya. Kalau aku hilang HP 2 kali. Jadi UK itu full of pickpocket sih guys. Jadi makanya aku akhirnya pas habis kehilangan HP 2 kali, all my phones are always like in this thingy. It's always on a strap. Even though it's already on a strap, kadang-kadang waktu aku lari, it's in my fanny pack gitu loh. Jadi it's like harus double protection banget. Jadi buat kalian yang mau ke UK, kalau bisa beli strap sih, pakai strap. I'm not sure about Europe. Katanya Europe juga gitu. Beberapa tempat kayak gitu. Jadi kayak saranku gitu sih guys. Gitu. Oke. Next question, Linda mau baca nggak?
What's the next question? Oh, how did the academic environment differ from what you were used to, and how did you adapt?
Udah menjawab sih tadi?
Sebenarnya a little bit, tapi I would say I didn't really feel a difference, only language. Karena kalau di kampus asal aku, di prodi aku ya, at least kayak they really encourage you to like speak your mind, untuk aktif, untuk kayak banyak berdiskusi, banyak berdebat di dalam kelas juga kan, karena psikologi kan kayak ada banyak paradigma and like there's a lot more gray area on what's right and what's wrong, terutama in how you treat people and how you handle certain situations gitu kan. Jadi kayak udah biasa lah, cuma it was actually kind of hard to catch up to how fast they were speaking English, karena walaupun aku terbiasa materinya bahasa Inggris, aku tuh nggak biasa pembawaan belajarnya tuh bahasa Inggris. So despite speaking English every day of my life, I'm not used to having like lectures in full on English. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but I got it done like 1 to 2 weeks lah, easy. Chris?
For me, it's more towards kayak a lot of like people from different countries kan. Even though my campus in Indonesia tuh juga udah pakai bahasa Inggris, it's not that different. However, there's so much like it's multinational. Jadi there's a lot of people that you're gonna meet, and like of course they will have different answers from each other. Itu sih lumayan kayak wow, perspective.
Yeah, culture.
Perspective banget.
Answers that come from different cultures.
Yeah, they're very different from each other. Very different.
Oke, jujur I understand you guys juga. Cuman di aku sendiri karena aku anak teknik, jadi kayak I'm programmed to answer questions yang kayak jawab matematika gitu-gitu kan. Sedangkan aku ngambil mata kuliah kayak yang filosofi gitu-gitu, yang kayak lo harus mikir dan bikin essay. Jadi kayak making essay is not easy for me, especially in a language that I don't actually use like every day. Mungkin I use it every day dulu ya, kayak the first 20 years of my life. Terus the past 3 years of my life karena kuliahnya di ITS bahasa Indonesia, jadi kayaknya my brain kayak udah program kebiasaan untuk jadi bahasa Indonesia. Jadi kayak it's hard for me to make essay sih lebih tepatnya gitu. Next.
What was the most valuable lesson you learned from your ISMA experience?
Kalau aku sendiri karena hilang HP 2 kali, don't take things lightly sih. Soalnya aku sebenarnya udah di-warn sama orang tua aku, kayak my dad used to work in the UK and dia kan tentara. Terus he used to be stationed in the UK gitu. Terus habis itu dia udah yang kayak bilang, "Kak, UK itu banyak pickpocket loh gitu, kayak mind your things." And then I'm like, you were there like 10 years ago, like it's supposed to be different 10 years later, it's supposedly better kan. I'm like so I experienced things the hard way. Jadi kayak kalau orang tua kalian bilangin, dengerin guys.
For me, I'm a perfectionist orangnya. Kayak I don't really care prosesnya gimana. Jadi aku kan udah tukang progress tapi perfectionist. Jadi kayak kayak prosesnya nggak apa-apa, ngapain aja. Yang penting selesai dan rapih gitu hasilnya. Nggak harus perfect banget, tapi yang penting harus rapih gitu. Even for myself, like I'm very harsh on myself. Jadi like mungkin after ISMA, I made like so many mistakes that I wouldn't have made. Jadi kayak ya udahlah, it's okay to enjoy the process, you know, have more of a growth mindset. Ya, lebih kerasa develop growth mindsetnya di ISMA sih daripada di UNIF itu.
Okay, please.
Probably my most valuable lesson is about money management. Jujur aja. Probably my most valuable lesson is in money management and also in the studies juga. They kind of have like different types of studies, right? Yang tadi aku lupa jawab juga. Kan mereka kalau di Australia there's tutorial classes. That's quite a different, right? And I feel like that's actually quite useful for the education system. Jadi that's actually also a valuable lesson for me. But most of the time it's also money management. Gitulah.
Okay. Next question. Ya. Oke, lanjutnya sama Ninda ya berarti. Oke, wait. Let's stop. Say bye-bye dulu dong.
Okay. So me and Poppy has to run because it's our mom's birthday tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye Poppy.
Say bye-bye Poppy. Bye. Next question is, what advice would you give to future ISMA participants about your preparing for the program?
Siap-siap lulus telat. Jangan ngeyel. Oh, true. Dan ngeyel is very important. Soalnya kayak I feel like a lot of people tuh daftar ISMA sekarang like for the buzz, for the hype buat bisa luar negeri, tapi mereka tuh lupa kalau ini tuh programnya tuh bukan semata-mata untuk send you abroad, but it's to send you abroad, give you exposure, and like come back home, and like try to do something to try to give something back to your country, your organization, whatever, dari apa yang udah kamu pelajarin gitu. Jadi kayak please don't forget that. Terus juga jangan lupa kamu tuh bisa lulus telat. Jadi kayak jangan maksain kamu harus ngambil courses yang bisa konversi dan lain-lain. Just it's a once in a lifetime experience. Jadi kayak run with it, just run with it.
Kalau mungkin that's the answer for like as a whole kali ya. Ya mungkin kalau dari aku pre preparation sih. Maksudnya kayak pre-ISMA gitu loh, pre-ISMA preparation adalah people take English. Maksudnya kayak they take the English proficiency test tuh kayak mepet banget. And then when they got like shit result, and then they kayak ngeluh gitu kayak it's your fault for taking it so mepet at the first place gitu. Jadi aku aja ngambil EPT tuh di November, which is so far away. And waktu aku ngulang aku di Januari. Jadi kayak dinya sih guys gitu. And I feel like as Priska said tadi, you're gonna meet a lot of people kan, kayak a lot of people with different backgrounds, multinational lah gitu kan. Jadi keep your mind open. Kayak if your mind is not open yet, you're not great for ISMA. Bye bye. Hati-hati, bye cookie. Okay. Yeah, jadi kayak if you're not open-minded yet, just don't apply.
Yeah.
In general, just go stay in your university.
Because you're gonna ruin it for everyone. Also mau tambahin kalau EPT it depends on your English ability. Misal like just because you are good, it's okay. Just because you're good in English doesn't mean that you're prepared to take the test. You need to familiarize yourself with the test. Jadi kayak mau semepet apapun, mau itu hamin 1 minggu atau gimana, please familiarize yourself with bentuk tes yang akan kamu ambil untuk EPT-nya. Itu kunci bisa ngerjain yang baik ya. Harus tahu bentuk soalnya kayak gimana. Okay, I think
True. Next question, how did you manage homesickness or cultural shock during your time abroad? Jujur, cultural shock sebenarnya nggak banyak ya tadi. Homesickness, aku kayak telepon mamaku tiap hari sampai kayak ini kayaknya juga apa tadi cultural shock enggak sih? Cuman kayak pas HP ku hilang, I keep my mom on 24/7 kayak on video call 24/7 because I keep on crying. So that's like nggak homesickness banget juga, cuman kayak lebih ke coping mechanism aku kayak ke orang tuaku juga gitu loh. I think that's it. Jadi kayak selain when I have class ya dimatiin, cuman kayak biasanya they're on 24/7 gitu.
For me, the first night, kan aku berangkat malam sampai sana siang, sampai Brisbane siang. Terus nyampe Akom rada sore. Terus kan jam 5 toko-toko tutup ya. Jadi kayak jam 3 gitu pergi ke mall dekat Akom buat beli supplies gitu. Abis aku pulang beli supplies, it was like 6 p.m. I think it was 6 p.m. or like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. gitu. I just broke down crying. Like I cried so hard the first night. Terus besoknya aku ngobrol ke roommates aku tentang homesickness. Terus besoknya udah that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Gampang ya?
Gampang.
Terdengar gampang sih sebenarnya. Oke.
Kayak apa ya? I think I'm just a person that has like good adaptability and like flexibility. Jadi walaupun it was a lot to take in, once I was actually immersed in it, like I'm not stuck on like orang-orang rumah gimana gitu. Kayak pas udah naruh mindset aku di situ, udah kayak yeah, I'm so excited gitu.
Okay. Next question. Baca.
What role did the support from the ISMA community and your host university play in your experience? I want to say not really. Kayak not much karena kalau dari ISMA sendiri kan kita emang dituntut untuk mandiri ya. Kayak paling kita as SR kita punya privilege untuk ngobrol sama koordinator kawasan ya. Jadi kayak itu mungkin kita jadi boleh curhat, cuma I didn't really utilize that. Instead I just confided in my cohort, jadi kayak teman-teman sesama ISMA UQ gitu. Terus kalau dari host university aku yang supportnya sih ini sih konseling gratis sih. Konseling gratisnya bagus banget, dimana ruangannya tuh kayak bulat, kayak it was a circle room. Tempat duduknya sofa. Terus di sebelah sofanya tuh ada meja kecil isinya fidget toys.
Lucu.
Jadi kayak kurang enak apa coba? Konseling tuh nyaman banget. Like I love that experience, and the person talking to me was like such a professional. I think dia kayak masih mahasiswa S2 deh, but she was so professional. She was really good at like making like whatever I was feeling jadi lebih fokus ke diri aku gitu. Jadi kayak dia point out things that I didn't notice about myself. Terus gue kaget banget kayak I was like that the whole time. Seru banget. Sama nggak?
Oke. Kalau aku jujur kalau adding to your counseling, jujur sebenarnya di UK malahan counselingnya online. Jadi agak-agak questionable. Tapi kalau dari host universe, dari ISMA community, I feel like nggak beda jawabannya karena kita co-SR, gue juga co-SR, jadi kayak jawabannya mirip lah. Adding to that, kalau di Liverpool sendiri host university-nya kita dapat jalan-jalan lumayan banyak gratis gitu loh. Jadi kayak nggak jenuh di Liverpool doang, and nggak ngabisin uang pajak negara anjay buat jalan-jalan ya, karena jalan-jalannya langsung gratis dari kampusnya gitu. Dan ya udah sih gitu aja, and I like how the libraries are open 24/7.
Boleh nginep guys, boleh
Iya,
nginep gitu.
bener banget. Jadi kayak buat gue yang suka belajar malam tuh it's very helpful banget gitu. I think that's it.
Minusnya cuma kampus sepi.
Iya sih, kampusnya sepi.
Kampus sepi terus nggak bisa beli makan. Susah beli makan.
Iya, because a lot of places are closed by like 5 p.m.
Iya,
gitu.
5 p.m. close. Jadi kayak udah deh lu lapor GWS gitu.
Jujur,
Vending machine.
oh iya, true, ada vending machine. Di UK, kalau di Liverpool tuh sebenarnya dekat library kita ada Tesco Express. Itu tutup jam 11.
Oh, lumayan.
Tapi tetap aja kayak after 11 then what gitu kan. Jadi kayak tetap aja sih. Tapi di Indo juga we don't have that. Oh, we have a lot of kayak warkop sih setidaknya. Masih banyak warkop yang buka gitu kan kalau anak kita ya.
Kalau di Indo tuh kebalik, kayak libraries close sore,
Iya.
tapi toko-toko tuh buka sampai malam.
Betul.
Buka sampai malam.
Betul.
Very different culture going on.
Iya. Oke, last questions ini kayaknya yang paling mengena.
What are your tips for making the most out of the limited time in the program? Kalau mau jalan-jalan, ya jalan-jalan aja. I think the biggest takeaway for ISMA Wardi itu harus bisa time management. Kayak kalian tuh harus bisa ngerjain semua tugas, kerjain semua tuntutan dari ISMA, tapi sambil explore, sambil cultural exchange gitu. Sebenarnya kan dengan kalian jalan-jalan kan bukan berarti itu bukan berarti itu tuh kayak cuma ngabisin pajak negara atau itu tuh semata-mata untuk leisure. Karena kan even the smallest things kayak lu merhatiin, oh nih di mall ini tata tokonya kayak gimana, ini tata jalanannya kayak gimana, atau kayak sistem pembayarannya kayak gimana, like those little things so you can compare with our culture, itu kan jadi insight, jadi takeaway as to why di sana tuh bisa bekerja dengan baik sistem-sistem yang seperti itu, tapi di Indonesia bisa works atau enggak gitu. That's how I see it.
True. Kayaknya other than that, selain I feel like a lot of ISMA Wardis pasti jalan-jalan, and jujur aku malah jalan-jalan ke museum. Jadi kayak it's weird because I like arts and like history. That's why I go to museums. And then kayak waktu aku ke Scotland pun ke Scottish Highlands, aku pun kayak datangnya itu walaupun cuma bisa foto di luar, but I come to like a hydro renewable energy place gitu loh, yang takes advantage of water. Jadi kayak ya nyari yang berhubungan sama gue banget, ini gak relate banget.
Blinks in
Sosum. Beda banget kita. Oke, tapi intinya gitu lah, maksudnya kayak jadi jalan-jalan tuh sebenarnya kalau kita disuruh bikin paper tentang kayak my LPJ malah disuruh tulis kayak wherever you go, terus what do you learn from each of the places that you go to. Ya, not semua LPJ kayak gitu, and dari koor ISMA Unifku pun kayak itu ribet sih, tapi it's good because kayak it proves that anak-anak ISMA tuh sebenarnya jalan-jalan pun bermanfaat gitu, kayak buat TA mereka lah, buat apalah gitu kan. Terus habis itu apa ya?
Kalau kamu mau nambahin apa ya? Oh, ini kalau misalnya kalian you have a field of study that you want to pursue tapi nggak bisa ambil kelasnya gitu, kalian langsung nyamperin dosennya aja. Tapi kayak aku nggak berani karena I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. Jadi aku kayak
True.
aku nggak nyamperin dosen sama sekali sama di situ karena aku ngerasa apa yang aku mau do for my next step tuh nggak relate.
Tapi bisa banget kok kalau misalnya aku kemarin itu juga ngikut kelas temenku yang nggak aku ambil kelasnya. Jadi kayak you can just sit in the class
Yeah.
without having the beban of harus submit tugas ngerjain UAS EAS, tapi you get the pendidikan gitu.
Yeah, you can ask the lecturer to sit in their lecture aja, like santai. Kalau misalnya di luar tuh mereka tuh seneng ya kalau misalnya ada yang mau duduk karena at least di UQ mau lecturer tuh nggak diabsenin samsek sama-sama. Jadi kayak you can just walk into any class, you can just walk into any class, gak bakal ditanyain lu siapa gitu.
True, benar. Apa ya, terus kayaknya volunteer, kayak lo mau nyari uang sampingan tuh kayak volunteering research, kayak Rachel gitu kan, reach out buat bantu research dan lain sebagainya, dan I think she actually help a lot gitu kan. Terus kayak
Gak cuma
atau
buat
enggak
nyari uang tapi buat kayak
Iya sih, buat
naikin
naikin.
level akademik diri sendiri.
true. Terus habis itu kayak atau enggak jadi research, apa sih namanya, kayak
Research fellow gitu.
iya kayak priest gitu, kayak
Research
kalau
jadi kayak ikut serta
bahan, iya.
ikut serta di dalam researchnya seorang dosen di situ
Ya,
bisa banget.
betul. Kayak kalau misalnya, I think Kak Galuh pernah ngepost kayak tentang dia dicek scalpnya or something like
Iya.
that. Itu kayak dicek gitu. Nanti kalau misalnya cocok sama researchnya, nanti kalian bakal direkrut untuk jadi kayak bahan research mereka juga gitu.
Bahkan kalau misalnya masih keep in contact sama dosennya tuh bisa bantuin TA kalian juga.
Betul. Atau nggak get sekedar recommendation letter
Iya.
juga nggak sih? Especially if you excel in their class, kayak you're active in their class gitu-gitu, mereka terbuka banget untuk ngasih recommendation letter gitu.
Yeah, just make sure you know what you do with it tuh. Aku
Tuh.
waktu itu nggak tahu. Jadi
Iya, same.
I didn't get a recommendation letter because I just don't know what it's for.
Same itu here.
Make sure kalian punya tujuan yang jelas. Jadi kayak misal kalian perlu bridging untuk S2, ISMA is a really good opportunity.
Jujur iya. I think that's it ya dari kita. Ada yang mau ditambahin lagi?
Bingung. Apa ya? Kalau ISMA dan kalian gak pernah ngekos, jangan takut untuk tanya teman yang pernah ngekos. Waktu itu aku nanya gimana caranya aku cuci celana dalam aku.
Ya, oh kita butuh tambahin ini. How buat cewek-cewek, how it's more financially easier on the pocket kalau pakai menstrual cup daripada pakai Softex or tampons.
Ya,
Both of us use menstrual
ya, in my campus waktu itu di UQ itu kalau misalnya di beberapa female bathrooms tuh ada free pads or like free tampons. Jadi free period products di campus bathrooms. Jadi aku tuh nggak ngeluarin banyak. Kayaknya aku nggak ngeluarin uang sama sekali untuk pembalut ya. Other than aku ada bawa 1 month's worth dari rumah. Aku tuh juga banyak ngambil dari kampus aja gitu. Dan kadang-kadang ada acara yang promote female health, yang you can get as many pads as you want in different shapes and sizes. Tapi emang beda sih kayak pembalut Indonesia sama Australia gitu. Tapi kalau misalnya kalian mau yang lebih financially cost effective gitu, we definitely recommend menstrual cup. Mungkin nggak langsung on the first month kalian period atau gimana, tapi kayak in the long run period underwear atau kayak period menstrual cup itu bakal mengurangi pengeluaran kalian untuk kayak beli disposable menstrual products, karena kan kayak kalian cuma pakai satu produk, terus kayak lebih gampang gak sih? Jadi kayak kalian lebih nyaman untuk berjalan-jalan, untuk kayak banyak beraktivitas, banyak gerak tanpa takut bakal bocor atau harus ganti gitu.
True. Kalau dari aku sendiri, jujur malahan di UK sebenarnya bayar £1 for jadi bukan nggak ada, tapi jarang. Kayak di websitenya tuh bilang awalnya tuh sebelum aku pergi, aku sudah cek kayak di Liverpool terus katanya there's free products, tapi when you get there it's just like always empty, so you need to pay for, ada bagian yang harus pay gitu. Jadi kayak mostly I just expect it to be £1 gitu kan. Terus mau beli Softex tuh susah. Pertama, tampon tuh ada, tapi kayak tampon sama menstrual cup tuh kayak sama aja gak sih dimasukin. Dan menurut aku kayak daripada ngeluarin uang buat tampon, mendingan sekalian menstrual cup. And dari aku pribadi, aku pakai menstrual cup itu, aku beli menstrual cup and nyoba menstrual cup itu 3 bulan sebelum aku pergi ISMA. Jadi kayak udah tahu cara pakainya, udah tahu kayak misalnya in the first few days kan pasti heavy flow gitu kan. I already know kayak misalnya setiap 2 jam 3 jam harus ganti gitu. Jadi udah tahu kayak berapa jam harus ganti gitu kan. Soalnya minusnya menstrual cup adalah suka bocor kalau overflow gitu.
Jadi kayak mungkin kadang-kadang like first few days tetap harus ada extra protection
Betul,
antara
betul.
kalian pakai pads atau kalian pakai menstrual period underwear yang
betul.
khusus untuk flow gitu biar nggak bocor ke baju kalian lah gitu.
Ya, terus habis itu di University of Liverpool, I think the first few months ada acara kayak we have like crafternoons gitu kan. And one of those crafternoons, I think kita satu semester itu 3 kali bikin reusable menstrual pad. Ya, jadi mungkin that's another choice for you guys. Jadi kayak menstrual padnya tinggal dicuci, digantung di atas heater sih kalau anak-anak ini kan ngeringin baju di atas heater. Terus besoknya udah bisa dipakai lagi atau enggak kayak biasanya 2 jam udah kering bisa dipakai lagi gitu. Tapi in the meantime berarti kan antara pakai satu dan lainnya you don't have anything to wear. Jadi mungkin pakai pads atau kayak mungkin datang ke 2 kali session biar dapat 2 menstrual reusable pads gitu.
Aku mau nambahin, aku pasti sana dapat free period underwear. I don't know.
Enak banget.
I don't know why, I don't know how, tapi kayaknya lagi ada kerjasama gitu ya. Pas orientation week. Jadi tiba-tiba ada stand isinya kolor, terus kayak you get to pick any for free. You just have to sign up to their email website gitu. Yang bikin period underwearnya dan udah kamu bisa bawa pulang 1 free pair of period underwear. And it saved my life. It saved my life di sana dan masih kepake sampai sekarang. Jadi kayak very useful. Oh, kalau orientation week ada gratisan, ambil aja guys. Ambil aja.
Betul.
Gratisan
You
ambil
never
aja.
know when you need it.
Ya.
Pulpen lah, kertas lah, just
Notepad lah.
Iya, kayak
Lanyard lah.
iya, demi apapun
Makanan lah.
betul, makanan bener.
Mereka tuh lebih generous dalam memberi. Mungkin Western countries yang lebih generous
Iya.
memberi daripada negara-negara di Indonesia.
Betul. I think that's it.
Ya, that's it.
Yay. Okay,
Complete.
completed. That's the questions.
Sampai jumpa.
Kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan lagi, drop di bawah di comment section, and then we'll answer. Hopefully in another video atau mungkin langsung di comment section ya. Nanti Ninda muncul di comment section ngejawabin.
Lalu aku muncul. Hai guys.
Hai, guys.
Mau bantu sama jawab.
Okay. Bye guys.